Growing up in the early 2000s, one of my favorite cartoons was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show that started in 2003. The show was my first introduction to the characters, and it was perfect. The turtles were all established well, it was funny.
This is some nice steel. How about telling me who gave them to you?
Yo mama.
It had great action, the animation was smooth, and there were strong arcs that would span multiple episodes or even seasons. It's what made me fall in love with the Turtles. When I first heard of a new Turtles movie, I was pretty excited. The live-action Bay movies really left a lot to be desired, and for a couple of reasons, felt pretty far off from the classic formula. Not to mention, I think they are at their best when in animated form over live action. Seeing a star-studded voice cast, animation that took notes from Spider-Verse, and a fresh villain was enough to get me going for Mutant Mayhem. I really think animation in the future will be split into pre-Spider-Verse and post-Spider-Verse, with gorgeous works such as Intergalactic, Puss in Boots, and The Mitchells vs. the Machines, all taking notes from the stylistic choices of Spider-Verse. TMNT is no different. A lot of background pieces go for a hand-drawn look, with sketches going outside of the lines, often on scapes such as the moon or city landscapes. In some sense, it gives the animation its own unique sense of character. A couple of the shots really felt artistic, especially during transition sequences of combat, which I didn't think I would be saying about the Ninja Turtles in 2023, but here we are. The designs for the Turtles felt perfect as well, complementing their character traits. The other characters feel vibrant, and the animation style allows them to be expressive. This movie also sparingly uses real-life scenes here or there, and I think the uses here are genius, showing a classic such as Ferris Bueller on screen, or showing that Splinter, who is voiced by Jackie Chan, learned martial arts through watching old Jackie Chan movies. Now that was pure brilliance. Speaking of the voice acting, I thought they knocked it out of the park, with all the new Turtles in April giving solid performances and showing strong chemistry. I did think the Turtles sounded a tad young to be 15-year-olds and sounded more like 12. But hey, they're mutant turtles, so I guess they can sound however they want. The real stars were Jackie Chan as Splinter and Ice Cube as Superfly. These are two actors with names that some would consider above this movie, and maybe they're just showing up for a paycheck. This is absolutely not the case. Ice Cube especially felt like he was acting like his life was on the line, bringing so much charm and humor to all of his lines, really making the role iconic to himself. Superfly was easily the strongest point of the whole movie and was breathed to life by Cube, showing the nature of his character is the way it is from the abuse his father endured and the abuse him and his mutant friends endured. It was really easy to empathize with him, especially when the film shows the parallels between his and Splinter's hatred for humans.
I decided to kill all the humans and let the mutants rule the earth.
What? You watch a movie with the humans? Ugh.
I also like to think that a lot of the hip-hop selections used in this film were a nice nod to Cube's work as a hip-hop artist. The other Turtles all have strong characters in this movie as well. A tad bit overdone at times, but it felt in line with how the Turtles should feel, especially since this movie serves as an origin story to the characters. If there's one area I felt like there was some fat to trim, I would say it was from all the other mutants. There are a total of 14 mutants introduced in this movie, including Superfly, the Turtles, Splinter, and all these guys. We don't need all these characters. The 8 remaining mutants I didn't mention have very thin plots and add very little to the story. They are also never really established much as characters, and it's hard to care for or invest in them. The 8 additional mutants would have honestly served better if instead it were like 4 or something. The humor in the film had some high highs and some of the lowest lows. Humor is such a vital part of the modern DNA of the Turtles. It's a key element to any modern Turtles medium. I did think there were some novel funny jokes, such as the recurring milking jokes. Superfly's wit was also great, and the banter between the Turtles and April was fun as well. The humor really got into some huge cringe levels, and they massively went overboard into pop culture for the humor.
Okay, Batman.
Dude, what? I'm just trying to hype you guys up.
While this kind of stuff is fine in moderation at times, I believe they pushed it too far. I don't need to know the Turtles love Drake or that they would love to sneak into an Adele concert. The biggest offender for me was when they made a joke about the Chris's in Hollywood, a joke that has been all over the internet for over 4 years now. The level at which they were using these types of jokes really damaged an otherwise timeless classic. Despite having its flaws, the highs of Mutant Mayhem are too great to be ignored. At the end of the movie, we are treated to a quick post-credit scene where Utram calls the Shredder. The design of Shredder feels intimidating and not overdone as we have seen in previous entries. This was a phenomenal idea to shift away Shredder for one movie to build the Turtles up on their own and make Shredder a more intimidating villain against the now experienced Turtles. This is a perfect setup that their team is primed to take advantage of. I will be watching the next installment with excitement, with hopes of a more focused cast and turtle fun. I give Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem a 7 out of 10.